Hi everybody, welcome to day 23 of Love Your Way Happy. And the last few days we've been talking about cultivating states of gratitude and joy. And so have been invited to start to look at cultivating states of gratitude and joy by tuning your heart and opening your mind to seeing these as states in which we can actually start to cultivate more of in our life right now by tuning into what's actually happening for you that we have to celebrate, so we can start to focus on those successes and experience greater joy, all those things that we can have now that we can start to be grateful for if we start to focus on it and start to notice those things. And so the last couple of days, it's been an invitation really for you to start to see that states of gratitude and joy are available to you now, or what states of gratitude and joy that are available to you now, and to really turn the heat up under these experiences such that we can start to increase our set point for our ability to experience these things, as well as what we start to notice and what we start to acknowledge. Really, we're inviting more of that into our life. So the more we focus on it, the more we get to experience those states. And so really it's a little bit of a mind shift. So oftentimes we think that when we have things to be grateful for, then we'll start to be happy. And when we start to have those successes, that we will, then start to be a bit more joyous. But actually it's the reverse. So what we notice is that, people who are grateful, and people who acknowledge their joys and their successes, they're people who tend to be happy. And so we see people with perhaps all the trappings and reasons why they should be happy. But if they're not tuning into those things as things that they're genuinely grateful for, or that they're not noticing them or they're dismissing them, then of course they're not going to be happy, because we're just not appreciating those things that already exist in our life that we have to be grateful for or feel joyous about. And so that's been the last couple of days. So just a little bit of a mind shift around the possibility of tuning your heart and opening your mind to experiencing greater and greater experiences of gratitude and joy. And so what I'd like to share with you today is a beautiful finding, I believe, that really looks at, yes, people who acknowledge their gratitudes and their joys are generally happier, for sure. But what we've found, and this is really delightful, is that people who share their gratitudes and their joys tend to be even happier still. And further to that, people who share their gratitudes and joys with people who are responsive and can share and delight in those joys and gratitudes with you, they tend to be the happiest of all. So yes, we've got acknowledging gratitude and joy. Then we've got people who can share those experiences. And then we've got people who then have a kindly and an open and responsive ear. So someone who can celebrate and share with you and delight in that. And people who can acknowledge your things that you've got going on in your life as things that are genuinely great, you can be grateful for. And so when you then find people that you can share these joys with and share your gratitudes with, they tend to be happiest of all. So what I'd invite you to do is to start to have a little bit of a think about two things. One, which is, who is it in your life that you can share those things that you're most grateful for, and that you can share your joys, and that it's openly received and welcomed and celebrated. So people who can be celebrating with you and sharing your gratitudes with you, who you feel that they're attuned and genuinely delighted in the fact that these things are happening for you. They celebrate with you. They're a little bit like your cheer squad or whatever, and that you feel attuned in that moment, that they are happy for your happiness. And so who are those people, and who are those people that you can then be sharing that stuff with? But secondly, who can you be that for? So oftentimes we do talk about our troubles, and we kind of, co-ruminate oftentimes and, trouble our way through things. But, what would happen if you were to actually ask people in your life, what's going on for you that's good? What about sharing a joy with me? What have you got to be delighted in about your day? What's good that's happening for you? Or what in your life have you got to be grateful for? So you're inviting people to share joys, because what happens then is if people are sharing those things with you and you're inviting them, then we can actually start to experience that in alignment with them. So we can start to feel a little bit happier and start to feel a little bit more joy, because we're inviting that in. So we're inviting people to share those things as opposed to inviting people to share troubles. We're inviting people to share joys and their happiness, essentially. And if we can find a place within ourselves where we can delight in that and share in their successes or share in their delight or their joy or their gratitudes, then we can experience a mood shift in return. And so I guess we just need to be mindful of, sometimes we can get a little bit of FOMO, or we can start to feel a little bit jealous or something like that. So, if you're noticing those things, then obviously they're things to be worked through as well. But, oftentimes what we find is when we're sharing those things and inviting people to share those things, I guess because we've invited it, that we can actually start to try some of those experiences on ourselves, some of those feelings. And then as we kind of trying it on, we experience a mood shift ourselves. So there's a couple of things there from today. And what I'd encourage you to do is to see if you can find someone or some people, if it's more than one, then wonderful, where you might start to have a little practice. And so I have a habit and practice of sharing with Dean at the end of the day, what are those things that we're grateful for the day? So what are those things that, we have felt a genuine appreciation for? And we will share that with each other and, delight and clap and whatever about those things that we're genuinely grateful for, and then those things that we appreciate. So what did you appreciate about your day, and so or what are you grateful for, whatever sort of terminology sort of works for you. So what are your gratitudes for the day, and what are you celebrating for the day? And so what are your highlights, essentially? What are your highlights, and what are those things that you have to be grateful for? And to see if you can do that on a daily basis, or if yes, you're acknowledging it for yourself, but to see if there's someone that you can share that with as well. So there's that daily habit of sharing that, and then potentially a little bit of a mind shift around inviting those people that you come into contact with on a daily basis to share their joy with you, that you're inviting them to do that or to share their gratitudes with you. And in that way, yes, we're inviting people to interact with you in a different way, but we're also then, riding on their coattails in terms of their joy. And so therefore we can experience a mood shift as we're delighting in people's successes as well. And so it's just a really wonderful way of being in the world where you can celebrate with people, you can experience their gratitudes, and allow them to help you to feel a bit better as well, and then inviting other people to sort of change how they are with you, such that then you can go on to experience greater and greater states of happiness, because you're getting more of that, you're getting more of the gratitudes, more of the joy, and your relationships are changing in alignment with that. And what a wonderful way of being in the world. So that's the download for today, and I hope you've had a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.